Alright guys, welcome to another devlog. This is going to be covering a lot of random systems I've added. I've been really wanting to also, there hasn't been very many devlogs lately. It's because I've been really wanting to make basically a playable alpha before I do the next devlog, but unfortunately that's probably going to take a little bit longer before it's completely done. There's just a few more features I wanted to add that I haven't really gotten to, and it's probably going to take around a month-ish, I think, before I would say we have one. And I don't want to keep you guys in the dark, so I decided, hey, let's just post a devlog now. I haven't been doing this for a while, so I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. So let's get right into it. Pretty much, I've done a lot of designing to the game and really thinking about, hey, what's sort of the game loop we want to go for. How do we want to play this game? It is sort of a god simulator, and then sort of into, I don't know, it's just a weird genre. And so I've just been really thinking about how are we going to make this game moving forward? And I went ahead and added a bunch of different systems that individually, they're not really devlog worthy, but altogether, I think we have something that might be quite nice. So I guess we could just get right into it. First up, this is the world, and if you've been watching the previous devlogs, you might be wondering, oh, hey, where is the land? Where is everything? Well, I decided that I think it would be cooler if there was literally nothing, and basically the players and spirits would actually just straight up build the land in the first place. So right now, also we did change the tiles a little bit. We're changing the art side. We're doing stuff here and there. Everything's a little bit more simplistic. And you can see right now that basically all of this is just water. There's different levels of water. We have sort of deep water over here. I've also changed the cursor as well. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of cool. A little click animation I made. And there's sort of the normal water, then there's the shallow water and stuff. And I'm going with a very, very sort of monotone, sort of dark theme to this also, because there's a lot of dark themes in this game. So this very, very deep water here, and water, basically everything's water. There's not a single piece of land. And pretty much, yeah, you just kind of start at nothing, pretty much. And so next we have the sort of top bar here. I don't know if I showed this in the previous devlog, but I'll just go over it again. We changed some stuff here and there. And we have the menu button. Let me just pause the game. This is sort of the toggle tile, spirit tiles. It doesn't really, I haven't really updated the tooltip, so they're just sort of blank right there. And we have basically 3 resources here, and this is basically the core of the game. We have, I don't know why I haven't put the titles anywhere here. Essentially, there's 3 resources that you use to basically play the game. The first one here is influences, used to interact with essentially other spirits / gods, or whatever you want to call them. And they're used to improve relations, harm relations. We'll get into that later. I do have a sort of diplomacy system set up. But basically, any sort of diplomatic action, and then maybe later, evolving certain creatures to sapiens or whatever, and doing stuff with, the civilizations that that will eventually form. Basically, just diplomatic actions and whatnot. That's what that stuff is used for. Next, we have this new resource here. It says the tooltip's wrong, but essentially, this is. I'm just calling it insight right now. And insight is basically used to unlock new skills. So I do have a skill menu here that, and I have a whole sort of skill progression system. We'll get a little bit into this later, but it's basically used. Once you get a certain amount, you can unlock a new skill, and you could use that skill in the world. Right now I have no skills, so I can't really do anything right now. And it's also used to ascend land titles. So you could either use them to unlock new skills, or you could use insight to ascend land titles. What are land titles? Are sort of I don't know, there's sort of like little areas you own, and if you ascend them, and they sort of get like you could, it's like, how do I explain this? It's like I guess it's sort of like a planet in Stellaris. You could sort of think about it as so there's this game called Stellaris. You basically have a planet, and there's sort of buildings on that planet. People live on that planet, and you could specialize that planet to like a certain designation, and you could also then ascend it, and then ascending it increases like the designation effect, and applies like a certain bonus. In this case, once you build like a sort of like piece of land, certain regions will be recognized as certain like fragments or certain regions or whatever, and you can specialize those regions into certain ways. So some spirit could own like a sort of forested region. You can specialize as a forested region. There's a lot of stuff there. I haven't really gotten into it that much, but this menu over here would show it. Essentially, you'd have a bunch of land that you own, and it would kind of just show up here. This is sort of a placeholder button. This doesn't really do anything. I could drag around. It's kind of weird. Oh man, the recording's like lagging again. Sorry about that if it's laggy. Okay. Anyway, that's Insight. Next we have Terra. This is pretty much used for creating literally anything in the world. We've kind of went this over in the previous devlogs. So that's kind of it up here. We have the data. This is all the same. Then we have domain size over here. All right. So next, where do we begin? Okay, so let's talk about, I guess. So let's see. We have the speed button. Oh, man, the highlights are like broken. I think I changed like a script, and like the titles just like reset themselves to like the default nothing. All right. So also maybe wondering, hey, there's like this portrait in the top right of this like wolf person. This is basically you. This is kind of like Civ with all like the different leaders in the top right. If I click on it, I guess you see like some basic details here. Like, it's not really that detailed. I'm probably gonna like change this a lot, but there's certain ethics in here that's kind of you could, I guess you can see that, but that's not really important right now. So, and then we have the three menus right here. We have the Spirit Realm menu. So this is new. This is basically how you're going to interact with the other spirits. The color scheme I feel like is a little bit off, but for right now, that's what we're going to be using. This sort of like purple color. The color doesn't matter. Anyway, we basically have this big list here of all the other spirits. This button doesn't work, and you can kind of see like, hey, the names of them all, and this is like their spirit, blah, yada yada, and then you have like a sort of opinion value with each of the spirits. So how this works is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like Civ, but it's sort of like Stellaris. How no, it's not like Stellaris either. Essentially how this works is that there's sort of a shared relationship between one spirit and another. A sort of relationship forms, and basically it's like the total opinion between you and them. So if I click on, I don't know, Naira or something, I could pull up this menu, which basically gives me some details on who they are exactly. And so there's like this details tab. Also, you can kind of drag everything around, which is kind of cool. So details, you could see that we have a sort of circle here for ethics. And what are ethics? Well, they're sort of, I guess they're sort of ideologies, you could say, in this sort of world. There's 6 of them, and they all have, each one of them has like a polar opposite. So there's a so 2 of them are collectivist and individualist, I believe. And for the second one, there's like traditional and insightful, and then ecocentric and materialist. Essentially how you play the game will affect how your ethics are reflected. So if someone just builds like a bunch of like nature and stuff, they'll become like ecocentric. If someone is insightful, I guess, they basically research a lot of skills. If they're traditional, and they sort of ascend a lot of stuff. Essentially, how you use these 3 resources up here affects your sort of ethics standing, and it'll slowly change over time. What else? We have this. Oh, this section here. So we have an action. We have an action section. So you could choose to improve or harm relations right now. So right now I'm neutral, but if we do eventually become positive opinion, and I'm actually going to try to improve relations with this person. So I'll click this. It takes 20 influence to send. Oh, I actually don't have influence for it, but it takes 20 influence to send, and then takes like a sort of upkeep. Solar sort of has this with influence, or sort of takes like, it's like 0.25 influence every time you use it, or then you could cancel it if you want. More of these will show up over time. If you're hostile with people, some more like hostile actions will show up, and you can use your influence for that. We'll try to like harm. We'll see. We'll play the game, and we'll see if anyone tries to like, I don't know, mess with us, I guess. And like, yeah, we'll see. And then we have this relationship area. So if there's sort of like relationship opinion effects that would show up here. Right now it's just neutral, so literally nothing's happening. And they can see that they also have the opinion of others sort of section over here if you want to know how they feel towards other spirits. So it's pretty straightforward. This took like forever to code, but anyways, we got that. And so if we do any actions, they would show up here, and we have this stability focus. I guess I could go into depth right now. I haven't really implemented this yet, but essentially, actually, we'll talk about this later. There's sort of some skills that pertain to this. And the end here for the spirit realm, for each of these spirits, there's like a star button. I just added here because, you know, there could potentially be like 20 different people, 20 different guys in the game or something. I don't know, something crazy like that. I want there to be like, you know, potentially a lot of people. And if there is like a lot of people, Civ sort of just like, they are of... it just sort of feels like the top row up here. If you play Civ with like million AI, it's like impossible to read. So I made it so you could actually just click the star button, and they will basically automatically show up here if you wanted to, like, you know, quickly reference some of these people. So in this case, I could just do this, and they all just sort of pop up here, like that. I guess they're all just like the neutral face. So yeah, so that's a spirit menu. We'll just disable these for now, just to keep it a little bit clean. The focus does nothing, but essentially this will be pertaining to this later. Okay, so we have that. Next we have the skills section over here. Now this is basically how you progress through the game. You get insight, and you just get it through like random stuff, I guess. Certain creatures, certain things you do here and there. And pretty much how this works is kind of, it's similar to Stellaris. I know I say Stellaris a lot, but I mean, I play that game so much. And you basically select a skill tree that you want to go down, and you sort of grab the skills from that tree. And so for this, we just click this button right here. Sorry. Yeah, we click this button right here, and we can pick which one we want to go for. But we need 50 influence or insight. So if I unpause the game and get 50 influence, we'll get it. Right now we only have 2. I'm planning on, you know, expanding this a lot. So once we get like the foundation, once we get like an alpha, I'm basically gonna just like make a bunch of different skills you could get and all that. But right now we just have 2, and I'll probably show that once we get enough influence for that. Before we unpause the game, let me think, is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't know. I think it's fine, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and let's just unlock like a skill here. So right now it takes insight to actually select one of these. I probably won't make it like that. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna click play here. So if we click play here, we can see that we're gaining passive insight. It's just like a base of 5 right now. This will probably be a lot. There'll be a lot of balances. There's a lot of balance changes. You probably won't get skills this fast. And we also got like sort of notification system here. So throughout the game, you know, some of the like AI might actually send me this like random stuff up here, and you could like click up here and do whatever that is, sort of event pop-ups and whatnot. So if I click on this, it just pulls up the skill screen here, and we can go ahead and select the skill tree. So in this case, I guess we could click on, we'll click on World Shaper here. So once you click on a skill tree, it'll like pop up like, oh, you have, so you pick this one, and you have all these different little skills in that tree, and it's sort of like a skill tree. So it's not like an insane skill tree like, I don't know, some like World of Warcraft game. It's very small, compact, and they sort of, you pick a region to focus on. But in this case, we have World Shaper. This tradition, I mean, I don't know, this skill, I think, let's just call them like skill trees for now. Essentially, the skill tree is all about terraforming rocks and stuff. There's not like any creatures or anything in this, not really life related. So if you're like a materialist, you're playing very materialist or something, you could go down this and, you know, improve your materials ethic here and there. So we have 2 things we can unlock here, but we need to get 70 influence, or 70 insight. I keep messing my own these own resource names up. So once we get 70 insight here, we'll be able to unlock one of these. So this is seascaping, allows you to create water tiles. This basically unlocks me the abilities in the game to basically terraform. This one's terraforming. This one makes stuff cheaper to create tiles and stuff. They give you like certain bonuses and unlock different things for you. And then, you know, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you just follow the arrow, and it's like, oh, you get this one now, and then you get this one, you get hazardous terrain, and then earthquakes, rich, and then you unlock like different sort of mountains and all that. And yeah, so that's basically it. We just have to wait until we get some more insight. But in the meantime, let's take a look over here. Let's see. Let's actually just, oh wait, we need 20 influence. Okay, we're gonna wait on that. So let's just click play, and let's wait here a little bit. I'll probably make it so you start off with like a bulk amount of insight, so you could like, I don't know, pick something right away. Or perhaps we make it so you only click like 5 of these before you move on to the next skill tree. I'm not entirely sure. But now we have, what is this? We have 86 now out of 70. So now we can unlock one of these. So I'm going to unlock terraforming because that actually gives us, that unlocks the soil tile, which is the cheapest tile in the game. Each tile has sort of different properties that could help you in your world building and stuff like that. So we're going to buy this, and so we unlocked terraforming. So now we could actually build in the world. And you can see that now we have another button at the bottom right here. The name is just blank for right now. It's random reset bug. And then basically all of the things you unlock will pop up in the bottom right here. So we got sort of this tile area, and we click on soil tile, and now we can actually find an area to sort of create a, we need to create a land fragment pretty much. So I think it's like about 100-ish tiles. If you have them together, you create a fragment. So let's just go like right here. I like this sort of area, and we can't really place it to here because it's very low, shallow water. If you get like the ocean thing, you could start like terraforming this, but it takes a while. So in this case, I'm just gonna build like right here all of this stuff. And I also removed like the queued tile stuff, so like if you keep over painting, it just felt a little clunky and like weird for the UI, so I just sort of make it stop like there. We also have like the different brush sizes if you wanted to ever, I don't know, change the brush size. And there we go, we have like a little island here. We could toggle this on, so this is green, so this is sort of my area. Let's see if anyone has done anything. No, not really. Alright, so basically that's how the skill system works. You just click this, and it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty simple. It took forever to make, but it's actually pretty nice, and it's very, very scalable. I mean, I would assume, you know, maybe later down the line, modding the game would be like super simple to just create like their own skill tree or whatever for this. Like have the arrows like auto generate and stuff. It's like, it's super nice. It's super nice. And it's going to be like, once I get like the foundation of this, once I basically finish the foundation of this, it'll be super easy to just, you know, just add more and more stuff. However, we just terraformed a very, very small landmass. I know, super cool, right? And then let's see here. If we go back here, we now have 20 influence. Whoa, we have plus 0 relation shared ethics. So, okay, so now we can see that the other spirits are starting to gain insightful ethics here. So this is basically probably always going to happen early on. So you gain some, so everyone's unlocking what is it, everyone's unlocking skills. The more skills you have, the more insightful ethic you get. And yeah, so now everyone's starting to gain some of that purple. And so each of the ethics, I'll explain them a little bit more, but essentially I'm thinking that the more you are of a certain ethic, you get certain bonuses, and you know, certain events, certain like civilizations or whatever like support you. It's sort of the ideology of the game, which all conflicts start from. Every single conflict starts from some, you know, ideology difference. And so we have that. So we're gonna add that here. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so how you play the game, you kind of, this sort of changes. Oh, what was it? Oh, okay, I remember. So it's like if you're a lot of insightful, maybe you get like a passive bonus to insight itself. You know, maybe if you're individualist, you get like more, you know, it's sort of like a boost in some way, if you are more of it. So it could be, I don't know, interesting. So if you want to like tech rush or something, you just, I don't know, the more you like unlock technologies, the more insight you'll get. Like it's sort of like an insight modifier. And then like materialist, if you just build like a bunch of rocks or something, you get, I don't know, like a bonus, more terra from materialist stuff or whatnot. There's like individualist, cooperative. We could also, let's try to get like some cooperative ethic attraction. This is kind of bugged over here, but it does say that we are a little bit insightful. So I'm gonna improve relation to this guy. So if I just click this, you can now see that we actually are losing influence a little bit. It's like 0.75 now. However, over time, that will actually improve our relations with them, and then maybe we will be able to, I don't know, be able to do some more positive actions later on, which would help us a little bit more. So we're just going to click play here. Essentially the whole game loop right now is generate a bunch of terra and then become hostile with everyone. So like you cannot like place stuff in other people's land, in other people's claimed territory. So like I can't place like, I don't know, like a tree. Where are they even building? I don't know if they, oh wait, some people are kind of doing stuff over here. So like this area, like I can't like put creatures or like build stuff in their land. I'll probably later make like a diplomatic action where you could like have access and stuff. But if you become hostile, so if your relationship is like absolutely terrible, you'll be able to basically just override that and just make stuff in their area. So I don't know, you unleash like a pack of wolves on their I don't know, just like a bunch of like rabbits or something, and they just like eat them all and it just completely destroys their ecosystem. But essentially, like I guess a game blueprint right now is just to generate as much terra as possible and just earthquake cycle everyone. There's a spell down here. I haven't implemented it yet, but I mean the game is pretty straightforward. You just generate terra, and just like destroy everything, pretty much. So yeah. Well, we'll just keep playing the game here. I'll just keep going here. Let's just make our island and see if we can actually create a like little land title here. So let's just build a little bit here. Build. And there we go. Okay, so now that we've built like a substantial landmass, as making Minecraft land up there, it looks like. I have these names that actually just kind of show up once you've sort of created a title, and then later it would actually also show up in here, and then you could sort of like designate stuff to you could set the designation. Maybe it's like a forested area or something to get certain bonuses to that area, and then like an auto create sort of helper here. I guess the AI uses it, like you could sort of like assign like stuff if you want to like auto create like trees here and just like leave it alone. I want this game to be like very macro focused, like not that much micro that you have to really do. I want it to be like somewhat casual but also in depth, so I could just specify like, oh, I want like a certain amount of creatures and stuff to spawn here, whatever, yada yada yada, and you just like leave this area alone. So we have our first fragment. It looks like it auto and like it's called Whisper Fields, it looks like, and you'd also be able to rename stuff here, but I haven't really added that functionality yet. So we have a fragment, and if we create another fragment, we get, we'll get 2 fragments. And if we create a third one next to it, then we get 3 fragments. And if we get 3 fragments, they will actually form together into a region, which would be another title. And this is very reminiscent of what's that game? I'll probably put some footage up here, but it's Crusader Kings. It's like Crusader Kings 3 or something, where you have these sort of land titles to where there's sort of these counties, and then like there's a bunch of counties inside of a duchy, and there's a bunch of duchies inside like a kingdom, and then there's like a bunch of kingdoms inside of an empire. It's sort of the same thing here. This is like a fragment, and if there's like 3 fragments together, that they form like a region. They could have like regional bonuses and stuff like that. And then if you have 3 regions together, so we probably don't have enough space here unless we terraform some water. This area over here probably, if there's 3 regions together, they would actually form a continent. And it's just like a massive name on like the world. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a paradox game, which is what a lot of this is basically inspired by. Okay, so we built like this area, and we have a new skill available. Let's actually select a new skill. We actually have a lot of influence. In this case, we can make the rock. Let's get the rock, and let's make some rocks. So rocks, this actually boosts materialist ethics. So once we pull out the rock, you can see we have so the placement UI is a little bit different. Essentially, there's you have a sort of radius around, kind of like Bloons Tower Defense, I guess. You can, if you want to try to manually put them, you could also like once you make like a fragment, you can like auto create it. But right now, since we don't have anything, we could just sort of put these around. And making rocks, they would basically you generate more terra, but I haven't really coded that part yet. So pretty much allows you to play kind of tall. And the tiles are probably going to be like the worst for terra generation because there's a lot of stuff into it. Essentially, you could make stuff, and they would give you more stuff. So if we have a lot of rocks here, we get a lot of Terra from it. Right now, that doesn't really happen. But this is how you place them. You place them kind of like that, here and there. And they would take a little bit of Terra. It's actually not even costing anything. It says costing 11, but it's like it's not deducting from here. Yeah, it's a little bit broken. I have to do some changes. So now we're making a little bit of a rocky area over here. And so we can actually unlock something else. And okay, so this is kind of interesting. So this is hazardous terrain. So basically this one will, this sort of, if you want to make a lot of rocks in an area, rocks are kind of nice because they don't actually like, nothing really eats them. And they live forever. Rocks literally live forever. And as long as no one just like mines it or just like blows it up, it's basically always you're going to get some Terra from it. So now we have these rocky tiles here. These are like really expensive compared to the soil, so it's going to take a little bit for me to make stuff there. But one of the properties of the rocky tile is, what does it say? Okay, like no one likes moving through it. It's like a little slower stuff. And you could create more rocks there so that you could kind of put them together a little bit better. So I think it displays here. So if I go, oh yeah, so so if you build basically boulders in tiles that are like rocky, so now I could really snuggle this one closer like that. So now we got like, look at all this. So I can make like a lot of just very tightly packed areas, kind of like that. So I actually can fit 4 rocks right very close to each other because of this rocky terrain. Out here in like the soil terrain, it's sort of like mid, you know. It's like you can't really put as much there. So that sort of gives some more depth to placing the tiles. And yeah, so we'll probably, Earthquake does not do anything right now. It just sort of places the tree prefab. And then Riches of Earth is basically just a better version of the rock. It's like a variant of the rock, but instead of giving Terra, it gives you like insight. So it gives sort of like the rock and gold a little bit different stuff. And then the mountain over here, if we do get the mountain, that actually generates influence. It's a bit of an influence and a lot of Terra, but it's like it's obscenely like costly to make. Also, we'll talk about this. So the Heart of Terra, actually no, let's take a look at see what people are thinking of us. Okay, we're actually improving relations with this bro. So what's going on here? Okay, it looks like bro is trying to harm relations at the same time rather than improving relations. It is what it is. I don't know. If he's going to harm relations, I'm going to stop improving relations then. And I'm going to like improve relations with these guys if he wants to be that guy. This guy's also harming relations and harming relations. Bruh, everyone's harming relations. I'll improve relations with everyone. Just, I don't know, I'll just see what happens. Okay. What else? I guess we could go down like, oh yeah, this part. So you may be wondering, and I've been thinking about this a lot, how exactly do you die? How exactly do you die in this game as like a spirit or whatever? So at the very bottom of the screen here, we have this sort of, I guess you could say health. It is sort of like a health bar. This is, I've sort of designed this in a way to be kind of like Frostpunk, and how that there's sort of like a hope bar at the very bottom. And it's basically like, if you lose, so in Frostpunk, if you lose like all hope, your city just like rebels and you just die. In this game, we have it so that it is basically how, if you have like the most stuff in the world, you will start gaining stability. And if you lose all of this, then you basically die. So basically, how do I say this? How do I explain this? The thing is, this game is just very, very strange because not any other game seems to be like it. the closest thing here is basically Frostpunk. So basically, if you have a lot of stuff, so whoever has the highest domain size, if you have the highest domain size, you'll start gaining stability points. If you have the lowest domain size, you will start losing stability points. And this can change. So everyone starts off as like a spirit. So you can kind of see here like spirit, spirit, spirit. And the spirit thing is the spirit with the highest amount of stuff. So the highest amount of domain size. So I have 150. I don't know what these guys have. Okay. So in this case, I'm actually kind of winning. Whoever has the most stuff will start gaining, and whoever has the lowest, on average, will start losing. So if you're like in the top, like 50%, you'll start gaining stuff. But you may be wondering, like, hey, that's kind of so it's like the people behind, they just sort of like die. Like if like I don't know, if it's like harder difficulties, if the AI is like insanely, they just have like a massive bonus to the economy, wouldn't it be like kind of harder to catch up when playing like very small or something like that? And yeah, that is a point. And so essentially, I instead of it just being based on domain size, you could choose to change the focus of your spirit. So everyone's just like normal spirit, and I sort of, it's kind of like I want this game to sort of turn into like kind of like how there's sort of Greek gods, and like each of the gods sort of like represents like a certain part of the world or something, or maybe like these like American Indian spirits or something, whereas like there's like a crow, there's like a, I don't know, it's like a bear or something. They all sort of like mean something in the world. In this case though, everything is just sort of like, as long as you have most of that, the most stuff, you basically are the one. However, I don't really want it to be like that. I want this game to be very dynamic. I want you to be able to basically play as a spirit in like your own sort of realm, your own sort of niche. So, maybe there's like a bunch of spirits and stuff, and they all sort of focus on a different aspect of the world. And so to do that, we have this normal spirit focus here, but you could actually change it to something else. So in this case, if we unlock Heart of Terra, and I don't actually have this fully implemented yet, but this is just sort of the concept. Essentially, there's like certain skills in the tree. You can select them, and then you could then change, your focus from a spirit to like, I don't know what this one would be called. This one's like the Heart of, what is it? You become like the Spirit of Terra, and instead of being a normal spirit, where as long as you have the most stuff, you gain stability. If you have the most like rocks, tiles, and mountains, all that stuff, you will start gaining stability, and you'll gain. You maybe have like certain bonuses when you swap like your spirit. So, or like, I don't know, the Spirit of the Earth or something. Like, so basically you have a bunch of different spirits, and then like maybe someone becomes like the Spirit of the Earth. They're not doing too well, and they want to like really focus on their sort of niche. So then you have like another like god over here. They don't really, or another spirit that's like not even focusing on like making nature or doing anything else. They're just focusing on like creating the land of the world, pretty much. And they have their own certain niche, and as long as they have the most stuff of that certain type, they pretty much stay in the game. There's also another one. Once we get enough insight, we'll show it. But there's like the Wooden Realm. Say like you could change from a spirit to like the Spirit of the Forest, for instance. And as long as you have the most like forest-related stuff, you will basically gain stability. If someone like destroys all of your forest stuff, you'll lose stability, and like someone has like more stuff. So this, like, there is like counterplay to it. You just like destroy their stuff, or you know, whatever kind of spirit they are, you I can actually kind of see like they're kind of like changing their ethics here. I guess they're all kind of like the same right now. Interesting. But yeah, so basically there'll be like a bunch of different spirits, and everyone has their all sort of like realm or niche or whatever. I kind of want it to be like, I guess sort of like Warhammer, where, well, in like Warhammer lore, they sort of have like these chaos gods or something, and each of them has like their own certain thing. Like there's a there's like Urson, he's like an ice bear or something, and he like rules over like the ice area, and he has like, he helps like the people of Kislev like live on and stuff. And so I kind of want to resemble that. And there's like different gods too that are like, I don't know, the god of chaos, or like, you know, you could have like some spirit of chaos where it's like you're just like destroying everything, whatever. Anyway, the point is, like, I want it to be very dynamic in how you play the game, not just like, you know, the richer get richer. And yeah, so basically you select a tradition, there'll be like dozens and dozens of, you know, like skills you could choose from, and you sort of specialize, you find your sort of niche in the world, and the world sort of just evolves around that. All right. Yeah, so that's a lot of explaining. So we kind of have everything here. I guess I'll just play the game for a little bit, and we'll try to, let's try to like do some building here. These tiles are like insanely inexpensive. Let's take a look over here in the spirit area. It seems like literally everyone is being not helpful. Okay, to me specifically. So I have the AI sort of prioritize. Each of them has like a sort of hidden inclination they'll head for, but I don't know if the RNG just made them all kind of focus this one. We might see them change later. It looks like they're still kind of changing. Changing their ethics. So okay, we have a lot of stuff here. Let's unlock the Woodland Realm tree. So you could also unlock like new trees here. In this case, I only have like 2, but you can see like, hey, this one's a little bit bigger, but this allows you to basically create forest tiles, trees, ferns. This is very like nature-based skill tree, you could say. And then if you get this one, you could become Spirit of the Forest, and then be, you know, if you want to specialize into forested stuff. Let's see, does my ethics change? Okay, so it actually looks like I am collectivist, insightful, and materialist based on how I play. So that's actually, I don't actually think this would work over here. But so I'm collectivist, so basically the more positive stuff you do with people, the more collectivist ethic you get. If you start like harming people's relations, which I'm assuming all these guys are doing, these cucks, okay. Yeah, like if you just harm relations, you'll gain individualist attraction, which is what these guys are getting, because they're all being uncooperative right now. -2 relations. And you can also see, like, if you have shared ethics, you also get a certain opinion boost of them as well. And I am also materialist here, it looks like. So I basically don't have any nature placed down, and so I'm very materialist. And also insightful, because I don't really ascend my fragments yet. I guess the functionality is not even there. The AI can do that, so we might see an AI turn traditional at some point. And yeah. So let's just keep playing here. Let's just kind of wait We need kind of like more insight, to be honest. Alright, so we unlocked a new skill. So let's actually just go expand the forest here. And let's start making some forest stuff. Why not? So for this, I don't know, I think we might want to expand this little. Oh God, it's expensive. Yeah, so you can see like the tile costs like goes up. It starts going up exponentially because we have a higher domain size. I'll do this. And sort of like a hack here you could do is just place like one forest tile like randomly here. And, you know, we'll start like increasing our sort of land area as well. So let's try to make another fragment here. We'll use the cheapest tile here, which is just this. And if we click play here, I think like, okay, yeah. The forest tiles will automatically just grow onto the soil tiles. So that's a little bit of a gimmick you could use if you want to like save Terra at some point. Okay, so I think the grass here will just grow over. And let's try to make another like fragment over here if possible. And man, everyone's pissed off, bro. Why are they all pissed off? They normally like, it's actually kind of rare that everyone is just hostile, which is kind of insane. You know, I'm gonna be hostile to this guy. This guy just absolutely hates me. Sure. All right. Let's see. I have a new skill. I'll get some oak trees, and oak trees are sort of similar to like the rocks and how you could place them. They sort of get a bonus if you place them in forest area, so the radius goes down slightly. So I'll just build like, I guess I'll build like a couple trees here or something. And then they don't give Terra right now, but I mean they would give you more Terra, which you could use to build more stuff and, you know, stuff like that. I need to build like a forest here. Lots of trees. They do start very small, so give them some time to build up. And let's see if we can create another. I think we almost have enough tiles over here. Okay, there we go. Now we've created another region, or yeah, they're called fragments. The smallest form is the fragment. So we have, I don't know, Whisper Fields and Moss Reach, it looks like. And so if we create a third, we should actually be able to form a region, I believe. So we do have a lot of stuff here. Okay, so now we formed an actual region. So these actually merged together. Well, they're not technically merged. You could still, like, you know, designate one of these certain regions to like certain thing. I don't know. Like I would make this region like a rocky region, rocky fragment, and then there's like, I don't know, like a forested region over here or something like that. But that is basically a region. Looks like we're actually way ahead of these guys. I don't know what they're doing. Looks like this guy is making it's very interesting. So the AI, I did program the AI to sort of build stuff. This guy is being a little weird. He's building like, yeah, he's adding like stones everywhere and like ferns and rocks. It's very interesting. This guy appears to be this different guy. Yeah, he seems also to be building like a lot of gold. It looks like this guy's building straight up just gold and rocks and stuff. I see. However, sometimes if there's like, if I make one of them focus like sort of ecocentric stuff, they all sort of have like a bias towards certain things here, and they might like, you know, usually they just only make like forest stuff. But it looks like all these guys are very materialist or somewhat materialist. So there's sort of like fanatic materialist and there's like normal materialist. These guys are like normal materialists. Like they'll build like some rocks, but they'll also make a little bit of nature here and there. So these guys are kind of doing that right now. This guy, I'm assuming he's like fanatic materialist and he's just building a bunch of just like rocks and stuff. I don't know, it looks like he's making some stuff over there. So then we can lock a new thing here. We can make some ferns. And let's sort of build this area up. And then you could also place, this wasn't in the last video either, but you could also place like the tree stuff in soil tiles. This is like a new tile we have, and literally anything can grow in soil tiles, but just not as well. So we got that, and then so basically right now what I'm trying to implement is making the creatures actually better, because right now they're sort of pretty dumb. And the reason why I'm making this like sort of devlog right now is because I think it's going to take like probably another month before I actually get it to like kind of work well. So we also did change like the look of them a little bit, so they look a little bit different. But the AIs, I just like kind of redid the whole thing, and also you could like maybe change their gender as well. It's sort of like a new option for creatures. I don't think it does it for this. Yeah, so I want them to be like, you know, maybe more options, maybe unlock skills that allow you to change different things for the squirrel when you create them. But there are only 2 genders, so if we like place these guys down, they're actually just like super dumb. Like they'll just wander everywhere. I kind of just like remove literally everything, which is which makes them completely dumb. So you just kind of see them like moving here and there, like rabbits. I mean, it's all just kind of the same thing. I have to basically, I'm going to be working on this part, and making it feel interesting, lifelike. Like they'll have to sleep. I'm thinking of maybe adding a lot of stuff from like from like Warhammer 3, like combat and stats wise, like fatigue. You know, I want to add like a sort of rework the sleep thing. Right now they do grow though, so like you can see them kind of grow bigger. The animations are actually kind of broken right now. So 4 suites here. And then, yeah, it's sort of like the game loop right now is kind of just like generate as much terror as possible, and because you can see that everyone's just wandering in the ocean. Like I just made them like just like perma wander basically. So it looks like these guys are literally just exploring everywhere. They don't sleep at all, so yeah, they're just sort of here. Let's see, we'll just try to unlock everything. And yeah, there seems to be a lot of stuff. And then, let's see, let's just start creating like a bunch of them. Let's try to break the game. To be honest, the game is like very smooth right now. Normally, so like you would be able to make like mass squirrels like this, but like if you don't have food, that's the thing. Like if you don't have like a proper ecosystem, all of these guys are gonna die. Literally everyone here would die. Like if I make like the AI actually like work, like you sort of have to have, you know, a lot of acorns for this. So the squirrels, they sort of eat the acorns, and the rabbits, they eat ferns and stuff. So each like creature in this tree has its own sort of purpose. You could unlock foxes. Foxes are a bit strange because, well, foxes are omnivores. That's why you have to unlock sweets and rabbits. They'll eat rabbits and sweets, so they're sort of like the prerequisite. Why like all these are sort of further down. So I don't know. I think the foxes are dumb as well. They're all just on their sitting animation and moving around like this. Alright, well, it's actually surprising. Like, I'm actually not experiencing any real frame drop, even though we have like massive, which is good. Although, we're going to make the AI a lot more immersive and like better. Okay, if we like, let me see. Oh my god, what the heck? Okay, so now we can see some more diplomacy actions here. So this guy, since we're like harming relations with him, he's also harming relations with us. we then unlock new like negative actions we could do here. So it looks like this guy is hindering my terror production right now, which is cringe. And you could do that too. So I could like sanction him. So I could hinder his insight. And so it does cost influence upkeep, but I can do that. Then okay, I guess we could also reconcile if we want to. But like now he's hostile. So now if we're like hostile, we could basically create stuff on his land and I don't know, like earthquake cycle him to death or something. And we could see like our relations here. 0+0 improving 0 opposing ethics. Jeez, negative actions. Holy cow. Holy aura. This guy looks like he is... Alright, so these guys are a little bit, you know, a little bit changed. Looks like we got basically all the same type of guy. Usually it's not like this. Usually it's like each of them are different, but I got a weird seed, I guess. Okay, these guys are all like neutral, but that's probably because they're harming relations with me at the same time. They refuse to be friends. No friends. And then you can see, okay, so here we go. So here's my ethics right now. So since I made more nature than like rocks and stuff, I basically become more ecocentric. So, well, I'm ecocentric now. As we have like there's like hundreds and hundreds of just like random squirrels. Holy cow, the recording looks kind of laggy. It's not actually this laggy. It's like, okay, whatever. No one will believe me. But yeah, so we're collectivist. And so you can notice that we are collectivists. However, we are harming relations and doing this. I think it's... Yeah, so if I like stop... So like the more positive actions you do compared to like negative actions, you'll start gaining like, you know, collectivist or individualist if you are trying to mess with everyone. Everyone here is cringe, unfortunately, so we cannot showcase any of the positive actions. There are positive actions. It's like you boost each other's like terra and stuff, and you can boost each other's stability. It actually looks like I'm winning the game right now, which is interesting. But I think it's because I just spam all of this stuff down. I have like a massive domain size. All right, well, that's kind of... that's actually kind of it, to be honest. I think we've covered basically everything. Pretty much what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully in this next month, is to refine this creature AI here, because obviously this is sort of very dumb. Everyone's just sort of swimming around, acting all dumb, and stuff. And oh my gosh, I have to reduce the growth rate of the ferns because they're actually taking over this area, which could be good in some cases. I'm going to be working on them, making them intelligent. I'm also going to be making the sort of focus system, so you could change it like Spirit of the Forest or Spirit of the Earth or something like that, and allow you to specialize. And what else? I think that's kind of... Oh, I have to make the Earthquake ability, Earthquake Cycle. And then honestly, that's pretty much it for the... That's pretty much it for like a playable alpha. And then I'll probably release it sometime next month. And I don't know, I'll probably get some feedback on it for that. Very interesting island this guy's making. Oh, this guy has his own sort of region over there. Right now the game is very chaotic. What's going on over here? Oh. Okay, I don't know. This guy's making like a forested region, and there's like also he's making like a rocky area over here, which is interesting. But yeah, that's kind of all that I've been working on right now. I'm gonna try to keep it consistent. Probably next month, same-ish time, I should have something. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next devlog.